Vivek Ramaswamy has a new podcast, Truth, period. Like the hats that he was wearing before. And he had Ann Coulter on. She decided that, well, okay, go just the first 15 seconds. I want to play how he opens his podcast here, Bradley.
Yeah, I'm interested in this.
It's pretty, I won't reveal the title of the podcast until we hear the opening.
Just did.
No, I didn't.
It's not true.
Okay.
No, the title of this episode is what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
I won't reveal it because he gives the theme right away.
There's an N-word that you're not allowed to say anymore. That I'm going to say. Nationalist. It doesn't have to be a bad word.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a great opening.
He also stole it from Trump. We can go back to when Ann Coulter comes on in this now, but Trump says that, but he says nuclear, right? Nuclear, yeah, right? Exactly. Yes, the new N. There's an N word you can't say. Nuclear.
Ends with N, ends with R.
Yeah, right. Vivek's doing nationalism. And in the spirit of like hinting at extreme racism, just to kick it off, he has Ann Coulter on, who basically tells him to his face that she could never vote for him, and you'll never guess the reason why.
Coulter. So, Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during. In fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that. And it's directly related to what you were just talking about. You know, the thing about nationalism, you're totally right. It is like to use the word nationalism. Oh, it's Hitler, it's Hitler. And you know, Hitler had soup. That doesn't mean we shouldn't have soup. Hitler loved dogs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't love dogs. So I think we have to move past this. If Hitler did it, it must be bad. But I do notice when I was listening to your monologue, I don't think I do use the word nationalism. I would use a word.
Okay, so she just blows past this, really just glosses over it, and he's like, okay. She tweets about it after. Well, let's put up his response. It's Vivek Ramapikme is what I want to call him here. Ann Coulter told me flat out to my face that she couldn't vote for me because you're an Indian. Wow, he's about to take her to task here. Even though she agreed with me more than most other candidates. I disagree with her, but respect that she had the guts to speak her mind. It was a riveting hour. The Truth podcast is back.
I'm glad he disagreed. I'm glad he took the hard line of disagreeing with her on that one. I mean, what would agreeing with her on that one look like? But I mean, what a beta! Like, what a cuck! Seriously, what a little bitch! Like, I don't even know what else to say. I'm gonna use all the words. Like, to sit there like he did and just take that and not be like, hold up, excuse me, you're on my show.
That's what a lot of, conservatives who fill this role basically choose to do for money, right? And because they have their own racist views and their own far right views, they will eat shit and have racist stuff said to them and just be like, I'm okay with it. Don't worry. I'm one of the good ones. I also am she infamously dated Dinesh D'Souza, who is an Indian American, right?
She'll date him, but she's not gonna vote for him.
Yeah, then you can just see, right? Like what kind of person is just, you can be intimately involved with somebody but have such a lack of respect that it's like I would never vote for someone that looked like you. I don't know. I can't imagine the psychology of that, to be honest.
Also, I don't think soup and liking dogs is really analogous to subscribing and instituting an ethno-nationalist project. I think those are kind of
Yeah, one
genocide,
of those things. Nationalism, loving dogs, and soup was pretty core to everything he did. The other two, not really necessary to carry out his vision. I mean,
trivial. I might say.
So Vivek doesn't even really address it afterwards. He basically just moves on to say, "You and I both agree that people shouldn't have dual citizenship, right?" And she goes, "Yeah, of course."
Use it.
I'm one of the good ones. That's what he's going with.
Well, yeah, but Vivek is like going around to all types of fringe communities now just to like drum up like support for, I don't know what his like actual grift is now. I guess it's just this podcast that he's doing, because just a few days ago he was with the meme stock people at one of their events. He was hanging out with the Bed Bath & Beyond meme stock people in like a warehouse in Atlanta, sucking up to some billionaire or,
Bradley's
whatever.
looking that up.
Like, yeah. Yeah, so like he's just looking for like to generate some kind of following online. So he's just is grifting all over the place. It's wild.
I'm curious who's like behind the Truth podcast, because it's not the Daily Wire. I mean, the knives are kind of out for the Daily Wire because of the whole Candace Owens thing, right? And they feel some of the other right-wing podcasts feel like they can take shots because they can make some sort of free speech argument about it. But I am curious who is behind Truth, or if he's hoping that one of those bigger networks buys it from him. But not so sure. This is like, he's still also probably hoping for a Trump cabinet pick. Here he is, Brandon, what you were referring to.
Yeah, so this is at an America First PAC event. It's a rodeo event I think I'll look at the state, but it's a Fuentes, basically Fuentes is like a Groyper associated political action committee event, which is at a rodeo.
It's going to be every one of you, every one of us, doing our part as well for this country. And when we face our founding fathers in the afterlife, and they ask us, what sacrifice did you make for your country? We better have a damn good answer for them, and we will. This is a 1776 moment in our country. I don't say that lightly. It's going to
What does that mean?
So when you get to the pearly gates of heaven, you see St. Peter. You're also going to see like John Hancock being like, what'd you do down there, Vivek?
Yeah.
John Jay just sitting there being like, what do you got for me?
So that wasn't specifically what I was talking about. I did DM Bradley what I was talking about. Like he's just courting. So like, I don't want to get too deep into meme stocks because now is not the time, but there are different meme stock communities out there. And like, for some reason, one of them is centered around Bed Bath & Beyond, which recently went bankrupt and then had the IP bought out by Overstock. And for some reason, he's been involved with their community recently. And so they had an event in Atlanta that he was somehow meaningfully involved in a different airport hangar or.
Here he is. Again, Brett, a lot of these events, it's just, I always wonder, the left just never has any of this kind of stuff. But
I don't have that money. It'll be so funny if it just crashed.
it just decapitates him. No, sorry, I mean, joking.
Look at him sip that seltzer and watch how it.
That is a spin drift. I do like that.
But yeah, I mean, so loud. Just for context, like the Bed Bath & Beyond meme stock people are who like the other meme stock people laugh at. Like they're like who the GameStop meme stock people laugh at. So I don't really understand why he's there, other than a lot of people are on the lookout for online communities that can be easily used against enemies, and meme stock people definitely fit that description.
I forgot how rich he is. He can probably just fund the podcast himself if he wants to.
He's so loaded, but also I think maybe that also helps that it's like you can really debase yourself so extraordinarily in so many aspects because he's richer than God.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why Trump, in part why Trump won the primary in 2016, is a good part of the Republican base thinks if you have a lot of money, that must mean that you're a winner. Or you should God made you rich, so we should trust you. But he also made him Indian, so that's the other side.
But it's
The
just
Lord
like,
give it, the Lord
just,
take it away.
just fucking talking to someone being like, but you're great and you're very articulate and everything. You're an Indian though, and never gonna be able to get past that. Like, are we fucking? What is it? 1888. Like,
I mean, and part of it, I almost hesitated to not play that just because Ann Coulter is such a, just wants attention so badly, especially because when you're like a blonde woman of a certain age, for Republicans, they decide we don't want you really around visually anymore. But like, it's more about Vivek's response that tickled me and also made me slightly sad that I wanted to play. So
debase himself.
Right.
He's been doing this since the election. Wasn't there that one town hall he had where someone said something very similar? And his
You're
like,
a terrorist.
His like wife was there too, and yeah. And,
oh my God! Right, good recollection, Bradley. Yes, she tweeted in August during one of the debates. Nikki and Vivek are involved in some Hindu business. It seems because they were having an argument about Ukraine during the debate. Not our fight.
I love applauding just a racist who's always just out about her racism for saying the racism. I'm glad that she was, brave enough to come onto my platform and do what she does all the fucking time to me.
Yeah.
I am happy to reveal to you guys that I used to do when I was at TYT hits at this show called Cheddar, which I think has since folded. Oh, yeah. And Ann Coulter was the guest after me at the New York Stock Exchange, and we were introduced, and I made a point not to shake her hand. So that was a fun moment for me.
Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.